Francesca and welcome to my kitchen. Today I don't have Colin here, so I'm going to film this myself, and we are going to make a very simple chocolate and Easter egg recipe. It is not Easter anymore, but anyway, on YouTube you find recipes when you find them, so it doesn't really matter. This recipe is from a little magazine that I found in a supermarket, and I think it's going to be smashing. Have a look. I can't see whether you can read the recipe, but otherwise I'll post a photo. This is cracking eggs, because we are going to be cracking eggs. We are going to have fun. As always, I never try the recipes I post before I film them, so I don't really know what's going to come out of this. But chocolate and Easter eggs, it has got to be good. And okay, we don't have Colin's company, but we are here together and we are going to have fun. Let's get started. These are all the ingredients we'll be using. We'll need 55 grams of butter, 720 grams of chocolate, which I'll be breaking while they are packed, because it is a lot easier to break the chocolate this way. You see, it's not messy. It actually works very well. There you go. There you go. So I'll be breaking all the chocolate. We'll be needing 1 tin of condensed milk, 3 40 grams Easter eggs, chocolate eggs, which we'll be unwrapping and smashing, and mini creme eggs, which we'll be cutting in half. And to start with, we are going to melt the chocolate in a pan, which I'll put over a pan of simmering water. This is called bain-marie, to make sure that the chocolate doesn't stick to the pan while it is melting. It is always the easiest and safest way to melt chocolate, although some people don't bother. They just melt it in a pan on the stove. But I am a little bit afraid of that. We'll be adding the butter as well. There you go. And the condensed milk. And we'll be melting everything in the pan above the simmering water. I love simple, straightforward recipes that taste amazing, but I don't like spending all day in the kitchen slaving away, especially now that it's getting a little bit hotter outside. I don't really like to spend my days in the kitchen. Also because it gets very hot in a kitchen if you have the oven on and you are cooking on the stove. So the more practical the better, and as long as it looks great, I'm happy. So as you see, the chocolate is now melting away with the condensed milk and the butter, and this is going to become a real smashing recipe. The only thing I always worry about is how I cut the chocolate in squares after it becomes harder, but what I'll try to do is to try to cut it before it really hardens. Otherwise I'll just break it in shards and it'll be just as nice. Now let's cut the mini eggs in two and smash the bigger eggs. And that's all. I'll just mix the chocolate, the condensed milk and the butter when they are melted. Pour into the tin. Here is the tin that I'm going to use. I've already lined it with parchment paper, and then I'll scatter the eggs on the top, and that's all. Then I'll wait for a while until it all hardens, make a cup of tea, sit down, put my feet up and enjoy my cracking eggs. Our chocolate is more or less melted. I am unwrapping the bigger eggs. You only need 3, so all the rest you can eat yourself. Anyway, here in the UK you buy them separately, so we are just cutting them in bits. Oh, they really look like eggs. I've never seen them. I'm not really a person for eating Easter eggs. What a mess! Wow! I should maybe have cooled them a bit. Look! It's really like eggs, but then with chocolate outside. I'm sure the children will love these. And not only the children, I'm sure I'm going to love trying this recipe too, but I think it's really better to cut the eggs out of the fridge, because these ones are a little bit maybe too soft. It does taste good. It may look like a boiled egg, but I tell you, it doesn't taste anything like a boiled egg. I'm trying to cut them nicely so that they all look nice on the top of the melted chocolate. So these are the bigger eggs. Now, the smaller eggs also have to be unwrapped. There we go. This recipe may be slightly fiddly, but it is very easy and with very little ingredients, probably ingredients you have at home. Anyway, so then these ones are cut in half. I suppose they are exactly the same eggs. It's sad to confess that I never eat Easter eggs, but no, not really. I'm sure they will be very good on the top of the melted chocolate, and this is going to look terrific, but Easter eggs are actually too sweet for my taste, so they are a little bit wasted on me as such, but in a recipe, yes, and I do love chocolate. There you go, that all goes to throw away. And let's try to cut them nicely into, yeah, these ones go better, they are not so gooey. You see, it's not easy to cook and film oneself at the same time, but it is always a pleasure to cook with you and for you. Oh, this one is a bit tougher. Wow, it's from a special chicken, I'm sure. This will also look terrific for a children's birthday party, for example. And who cares whether it is Easter or not? We are at the end of May now, so Easter is long gone. But chocolate is chocolate and eggs are eggs, and we don't need to call them Easter eggs. We just call them eggs. Cracking eggs. It's not cracking Easter eggs. So I'm sure Steven Spielberg doesn't make his films with selfies. Make sure that all the butter and the chocolate, they are all very well mixed before you pour into the tin, which I think this one is more or less done. Look what an amount of chocolate. Is this going to be very luscious, or is this going to be very luscious? I know all these English words that I never use, so I may just as well use them. Luscious is one of them. Almost done. The only thing we need to do now is to pour the melted chocolate. I'll just mix it again to make sure that there is no bit of chocolate that didn't melt well, or butter that is not mixed, or condensed milk. Chocolate smells really good. I kind of feel like mixing a few nuts. Of course, that's not what the recipe calls for, but well, why not? If you'd like to mix a few nuts before you put the eggs on the top, do that. I just associated the smell of chocolate with nuts. Sorry. Still not cured my big cold. It's not easy for a Portuguese person living in Wales. Wales is a little bit too cold for me. So I catch all these infections which are not very good. There we go. They say one can better use a fork. We need to get the eggs a bit into the chocolate so that they don't all fall out when the chocolate is cut. So just do kind of random, any way you like it. This is homemade, this is not factory bought. So as a matter of fact, some eggs are cut in half, others are broken into bits, and that's why this is called cracking eggs. Woo! Actually, I have the idea that I do have a little bit too many eggs for the 20 centimeter square tin, but they do say use a 20 centimeter square tin. I want them even more random, so that it just looks like shards that fell on the chocolate. I need to work a little bit fast so that the chocolate doesn't get hard too quickly. And anyway, as the chocolate is still kind of warm, they will melt a little bit into the base and hopefully not fall out. Actually, I think I'll make these with 2 big eggs instead of 3, because I don't manage to get enough place for all of them. Oh. I'm sure if there are any left over, Colin will eat them when he comes back. He eats anything that is sweet, and he loves chocolate. I love chocolate as well, but I am very particular with the kind of chocolate I eat. I love Dutch chocolate. There is a brand called FUDGE with hazelnuts, and that's my favorite because it doesn't have a lot of sugar. So there you go. Now I'll take another fork. So, and now I'm going to put my chocolate bark with eggs in the fridge to cool, and I'll show you later what it looks like. For time being, it looks like this. There you go. It was very simple, and I'm sure that's going to be delicious. Now here are our cracking eggs before they go into the fridge. Later on I'll turn them out and cut in squares, or if it doesn't go well in squares, I'll just break it in shards. See you later. They do look like eggs, don't they? Amazing! They look like those eggs with meat around. Scotch eggs, I think they are called. Oh, they're a lot of fun and so simple. So do try the recipe. Oh, here I am again, and I'm going to show you what the cracking eggs looks like now that I've taken it out of the tin. I'm trying to cut it with this big knife, which I have warmed up in hot water so that it cuts better through the chocolate. There we go. So I've started to cut it already. I think that if I make this another time, I'll probably make it in a slight bigger tray, because I find the slices are now very thick, and although I love chocolate, I think these slices are a little bit too thick. So in between cutting, I have got to wash my knife with hot water again to make sure that I don't make the slices all dirty with the chocolate that was there from the previous slice. So, as you see, the knife gets pretty murky. And I dry it to make sure that my chocolate doesn't end up full of water. So this is the last long slice, and then I'll cut it in little cubes. And I'll put it on a pretty plate. You have the very pretty cracking eggs. So we have a lot of eggs, we crack them, and we have a cracking dessert, or something beautiful to eat with a cup of tea or even something stronger, or coffee. Coffee goes marvelously well with chocolate. Colin is not home yet, but he should come really fast, otherwise he probably won't have anything to eat. Look at this. Oh my god, this is what the British call death by chocolate, meaning this is to die for. And I'm going to try one right away, and I'll let you know what I think. So, here is my first bite of the cracking eggs. Let's try. You know that I'm always honest, and if I don't like it, I'll tell you. And I'll tell you what I would change, which in this case is that I make it in a bit bigger tray, as I think that if it was, the chocolate was a little bit lower, I think it would be better. And anyway, we had enough eggs to crack and scatter on the top, so there I go. What is not to like about eggs? Butter, condensed milk, chocolate, and Easter eggs. It's very good. By the way, I used pure chocolate. I don't really like milk chocolate, it's too sweet for my taste.